Hello ladies and gentlemen, Vagran Gaming. Got another video for you with Alexandra Zaryanova, or Zarya, and we're in a civil war. I'm running with a couple of my guild mates, and one of the standouts being Kadith, who is one of the best gunslingers I've ever come across. Him and Doc Holliday are my top two picks for gunslinger. If you ever see either of those two shooting at you, duck, or run away, or just turn the game off, come back later. Anyway, we're in a civil war, and so far it starts off pretty standard. We each cap our native nodes in the west and the east, and then we start throwing down over middle. And whoever can capture middle first and hang on to it will pretty much that'll set the flow of the battle. So War Drums is actually a friend of mine that whenever I stay up late, I can team up with War Drums and Demolition, who is a fantastic healer. I've talked about her a lot. War Drums is a pretty good tank. I think he's running similar to what I do with, like, you get the tanking armorings and then use like DPS mods and enhancements. Although I think he might be running with like DPS augments. I usually run with endurance to get the health pool up there. I'm not positive what he does, but he's pretty good. So I know that we've got some good players on the other team, but to be fair, I'm bad with names. So what happens a lot of times is I could run across some pretty fantastic players, and I won't really notice they're there because it takes me like a while to get the name down. In fact, I only recognize War Drums because I played with them multiple times. So far, we're still doing decent. Where I'm not really focus firing intently off of anyone, even though I should be. I usually work pretty effectively when I team up with Kadith, which I think we do a bit more of that later on. He was starting to push towards the middle node. I focused on him, and then I noticed, oh wait, Kadith almost has this guy down. I bumped him back just to try to separate him from the rest of the team, make it harder for him to get back up. And between the two of us, though, I mean, Kadith pretty much had him finished off. Nice 20k crit. And now it looks like War Drums is pretty much alone, which means we've got a bit of an opportunity here if we can keep the advantage pressed. But we've got another guy coming in, so there's going to be two total. Hit the explosive round there just to try to root him in place. Now a knockback, and I'm just trying to keep them away from the node best I can to try to give our guy a little bit of leverage to cap. There's one down. Like we definitely have the advantage, so now we're just trying to push it. And oh wait, I'm too busy talking. We capped it already. So that strategy seems to have worked. And I keep doing that, like the explosive round there, just to try to root them in place. I probably overuse it. There's a bit of an internal cooldown on how often it'll work. But because PvP in the end is about making, like, it's just about making split-second decisions over and over. Sometimes I can get a little bit of an edge just by throwing them off their game. Like if someone has in their head, I'm going to run to this point, stop, and do A, B, or C. If I can root them in the middle of that, then they've got to reset and come up with a new game plan. So sometimes I overuse it, but I do like to try to like root someone in place and then start opening up on them. Although that's more useful if you're going up against a melee class. If they're ranged, it doesn't really matter if they're rooted, knocked back. They can just shoot back, because I don't think anybody has a knockback, with the exception of punting them off of a ramp, where you could push them out of their attack range. Like sorcerers and sages, I believe their range is about 35 meters. I think mine's about 30. So like my knockback will only at most push him back like 20 meters or so. Although to be honest, it's been a while since I read the tooltip. That was a beautiful 25k crit. That was lovely. I love Demolition round. So this was a nice little crossfire. The Sork looked like he was running for the health pot. Kadith jumped ahead of him and then pushed him away from it, like right back towards where I was shooting. And so like that was a nice little tag team move that we had going on there. Then I started getting shot at by T-Row Crescent. Fortunately, my healing perks kicked in just in time, or I would have been in some trouble. So now we're trying to keep this guy from getting over to the node, just because that's the direction that the enemy forces are moving in. Nice 10k crit off a grav round. Gravity kills. I love being able to pull that off with Zarya. So now, here we are. And just a knockback, try to create some distance. And it was also to separate the healer from his teammates a little bit, although he was able to get that back very quickly. So, yeah, he got back pretty fast, but his health was low. We were able to finish him off without a lot of difficulty. And so now we've got a good advantage. There's only 2 of them left. And even though I'm not focused shooting on Kadeth, it looks like he just switched to my target. Although it was right when he put up his shield, so I switched to an AoE. Though I'm still doing a little bit of damage. And then I get hit with a stun. Fortunately, someone stuns him. But he breaks it. So then I switch over to the sorcerer, and I throw up my shield just because I'm still getting shot at. And if I'm at full health, and only one person is firing at me, my shield is usually perfect just to basically lower their damage, and then the healing will kick in, and I'll be back to full without too much trouble. I hit the knockback just to interrupt his cast, get the high ground advantage, and then we were able to focus fire him down. And now a couple more shots, this guy will be taken care of. And that's some ventriloquist stuff going on right there. This guy might be a wizard. Gotta be careful for this guy. Tiro Crescent, man, I think he's a wizard. Like, his guns are on one spot, but his bullets are coming from somewhere else. That's freaky. Alright, hit the leap back, and I should have known that something was up. Like, I'm trying to watch my back, panning the camera around, but I rush over towards the corner and I see someone coming towards me. So either something's gone horribly wrong or there's nobody there. And it turns out there was no enemy forces there. And you'll probably notice if you play Civil War that, like, the battle will have a certain flow to it when you have the advantage. Like, you successfully fight off enemy forces on one node, and by then people tend to respawn and hit the other one. So you wind up running laps back and forth, although that time around they waited and they regrouped, which was really smart. What some groups wind up doing is they'll respawn 1 or 2 at a time and then just rush in by themselves. And when you've got 4 people planted holding their ground and 1 or 2 people trickle in, like, it's a losing battle. You're better off grouping up, which is what these guys did. And then, I mean, that's like 3 more in addition to what had already started, so Grass is in a bit of trouble. And that guy there, I missed his name because I spun the camera around. Oh, it's that wizard, Tiro Crescent. I threw up my reflective shield, and he immediately switched to an AoE, which is really smart. A lot of times I'll pop my reflective shield, and people will just keep swinging on it, and I'm like, great, I need the healing. But he was really smart and adjusted, like, immediately. And then I had some controller issues there. I had the Electronet on, and I wanted to finish that Sork off, but didn't quite work. Hit the leap back, ran through the heal, so I get some of that healing, and then I threw a couple of medical probes on myself. Now, this is where I'm about to make a mistake. I should have hit my shield, but I didn't, and as you'll see in a second, it's going to cost me. Because I'm like, oh yeah, like, I'm at 30-40%, I'm fine, and I was not fine. So, when your health is that low, you want to hit your shield. Okay, so we're back in action. They're capping. We need to stop them. I get one guy after having some tab targeting issues. Fortunately, Kadeth was on point and got the second one because I don't know if I could have gotten him in time. And it looks like it's PNR, but still, I mean, we want to keep what's ours, or we want to keep the nodes that we have under our control. Not a bad 15k crit. That's not bad at all. And I was tempted to pursue that guy down underneath, but it wasn't worth it. So we're going to take a peek at mid, see if everything's alright. Oh, why, hello there. This guy's health was very low. It looked like Kadeth just ran up and pistol whipped him, even though, like, obviously that move has been removed from the game. I think it was either 4.0 or 5.0. That basically all the melee abilities were removed from range and vice versa. Because back in the day, gunslingers had a pistol whip. And it was a bit of an adjustment when they first took it away. Because, like, whenever someone did get in a melee range with me, I wanted to hit pistol whip before I got into using, like, my knockbacks and all that stuff. And it took a little bit to get used to that. So it looks like Kadeth went to push off back towards the node, and I stayed to try to not duel this guy per se. Although it looks like from over my shoulder, I've got some backup that I didn't realize. I thought originally Kadeth was running back to the node, but then I guess the node was safe because 2 of them came back, so now it's like a 3-on-1 situation. And eventually we're going to get through his defenses. And there he goes. Not bad with a 12k crit. I like seeing those. And now there's a couple of them here on mid, but they're running out of time, and we've got a bit of a damage advantage, mostly because of Kata. So we're just gonna keep on keeping on, and this match is almost over. So I had some fun popping out damage in this match. I didn't get hit with anything too crazy. It was mostly because I got careless at one point why I died. If I was a little smarter with my defenses, I could have avoided getting killed when I was over on the western node. But you know, live and learn, right? Mistakes happen, as they say. So this match is going to end any second. And yeah, it was a pretty straightforward match, but it was fun. I had a lot of fun playing this one. Love seeing those big crits, especially from a demolition round. So, as always, thanks for watching. Feel free to share the video, like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, it was good. So I hope to be able to catch up with you all again soon. Hope you guys continue to enjoy the videos. And whatever class you're playing, whatever you're doing, hope you're all having a blast.